Hey, so check this out. When you're running webinars, right? So basically, you're going to send people to an opt-in form. The job of the opt-in form is to sell them to opt in, right? To register for the webinar. So you need to put on your webinar registration page the benefits of opting in, what they're actually going to learn, okay? And I'm sure this sounds obvious, but you need to put the benefits and not just the features of the webinar. So for example, in the guitar space, we might say something like, you're going to learn you're going to learn the 5 ways to play a simple solo, or 5 ways to play a simple hot solo. And the key is to make sure that you put on the benefits page or on your bullets, use the so you can, which means formula. So you might say, a bullet point on your page might be, you'll learn all 5 positions of the pentatonic scale so you can play a solo across the entire fretboard, which means you'll never be stuck in one place and you'll never get bored, or something like that, right? But those benefits need to be on the page. So the whole point I'm getting at is the opt-in page to sell the registration for the webinar. Now, once they register, the thank you page is there to do what? It's to sell them on going and actually showing up for the webinar, right? Because you just got them to opt in. Now you're going to convince them to actually show up. So one of the ways you can do that is, again, have like another video on that page that tells them, here's the things you're going to learn in this webinar. I'm so glad that you registered. Here's what you're going to learn. And if you're not going to make a video, just make a simple page of more benefits and more actual things that they're going to learn, because they're not on the webinar to give you money. They're on the webinar to actually learn something. Now, let's say your webinar is 2 days out from the time that they register. You need to send them some emails. You need to send them some emails that say, thank you so much for registering for this webinar. 5 ways to get more yay with less boo. And there's always a formulaic headline and title of webinars you can use. But the point is, the email needs to sell them on attending. I'm so glad you registered. Here's what we're going to be covering in the webinar. You're going to learn A, which so you can, which means you're also going to discover a simple way to do X, so you can, which means, okay? But that email needs to have all the benefits in it, followed by so you can and which means. And you need to send probably 2 or 3 emails that go out, right? That remind them. And then the day of, you need to send them obviously like an email an hour before, or the day of, and then like an hour before, and then when it starts, which says it's not too late. You need to have your texts going out and all of that to get them to show up. Once they actually show up, your job is to sell them on staying. So you need to immediately start on time, maybe even 5 minutes early, start taking questions, get them excited about staying, because you know what, just because they showed up does not mean they're going to stay. You got to tell them why they should stay. So I'm so glad that you're here. We're so excited. We're so privileged to have you here. You've given us your most valuable asset, which is non-recoverable, which is your time. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get started. But first, I want to just remind you of what you're going to learn. You're going to learn this, which means you'll be able to do this. We're also going to cover this. Plus, a little later on, we're going to do this. You want to open up all those loops, because just maybe 5 or 6 bullet points right at the beginning, that person may stay the entire time just to get that one benefit bullet that you came up with. So don't underestimate the power of bullets, feature and benefit bullets, and using the so you can and which means. It needs to be on the sales page to opt in. It needs to be on the thank you page. It also needs to be on your email sequence that you send them out to come and actually register. When they show up, you need to tell them in the webinar again what they're going to learn, why they need to stay. We got a special bonus for you today, regardless of whether you decide to do whatever. Just for being with us here, we're going to give you something free. You're going to learn all these cool things. You have to sell them the entire time on registering, on showing up and then staying. Do that, you will definitely have more webinar success.